Welcome to the show, Texas Real Estate Mastermind, Robert Orfino, Jason Bible. Everybody's freaking out. There's one thing I'm noticing in all markets right now. New listings are getting real dry. There is not a lot of stuff coming on the market. So you guys might have what you get. And the scary thing is, at least according to Mike over at Altos Research, we may be lower inventory than we were in 2021.
In the middle of COVID.
In the middle of COVID, well, yeah. 21 or 22 was the lowest, and we're
21.
We're getting close. We're getting close, which is not going to be good. So, and then everything I'm reading
It's good for us.
Well, I want to buy more property.
Yeah, but we have properties. We've got
Right.
it. We're pushing some out. See, our appraisal came back in on that duplex that's fallen down.
No, I don't get the appraisals. I'm not on all those
came in
emails.
good.
Did it? What are we all into it for?
We're into it for about 100, and as is, it was 196 with rehab 320.
Are you serious? Wow, that's crazy.
But we sold it to a mastermind member.
Oh,
She's
okay.
cleaning up.
Okay.
She's like, perfect. I'm like, yeah, perfect. Of course.
Yeah, great. Go put that in the mastermind group.
Yeah, good for you.
And I didn't. What did we think it was?
We were right on our numbers.
No,
Dead on.
Okay.
That my as is is lower than we think. We sold it for 175 and it came in at 196 as is.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So how much equity are they going to have in that thing?
Not a lot. They'll have about 10-15%, but they're gonna have $4,000 gross
Yeah, it's
on
crazy.
a $2,800 mortgage.
Yeah.
It's cash flow.
Making
beast.
at least a G a month.
Yeah, it's right out the gate. Yeah, with enough land to build 2 more.
Yeah, I don't know what else you guys want. I mean, what? I feel like Russell Crowe and the Gladiator.
No, that's why I posted the video in our group, the "Who Moved My Cheese" video.
Oh, okay.
That's the title of the show. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed.
Yeah, nothing's changed.
Nothing has changed. Now I get it.
I'm in that group where it's like, you could sit here and complain. And, well, why is this, Jason? And why is that? I'm like, and Jim Rome would say it this way. You could study the roots or pick the fruit, but you can't do both.
Right.
So we could sit there and ask why all day and not do anything.
Yeah. Hem and haw.
Yeah, hem and haw.
Right.
That's what Who Moved My Cheese, if you guys have not seen that. But,
You're Sniff. I'm Scurry.
oh, okay, Sniff and Scurry.
Yep. Sniff is sniffing out better opportunities. Work for sniffing out the cheese, and Scurry's just running.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we could sit there and play this game of why this, why that, and the market's doing this, and market's doing that. And I'm like, I have time to have those conversations. Most of y'all don't. You need to get to work.
I
Need
almost
to get
do.
to work.
I felt like today I actually had people working and things were getting delivered.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, I was actually
Like at the job sites? Or
no, like right here at the
Oh,
job
okay.
sites, pictures. I'm like, a guy, did a punch. I'm like, that's how it's supposed to be done. I'm glad. Yeah, this is good. And they're getting Section 8 appointments. And she's buying refrigerators and stoves. It's like, this is what's supposed to be
That's
happening.
what's supposed to happen
Yeah.
until we have COVID-24.
Well, did you see Bruce? Bruce Springsteen got COVID.
No.
Yeah, the boss.
I'm surely he's got 17 vaccines.
You're not on like your main New Jersey news feed.
Oh, yeah,
where you
I'm not
figure out
picking up-
like
I'm not
Bruce
on the-
and Bon Jovi news. And
I'm not on the Jersey Twitter
the
feed.
price of pierogies at Stuart Root Beer. Yeah.
By the way, if you guys are not watching the Elon Tucker interview,
Oh,
you
it's great.
should be. It is spectacular.
Yeah.
It should scare the absolute hell out of you, too. And not the AI stuff. That's not what bothers me. It's all the Twitter stuff and the Twitter files. He said there's about to be another huge data dump.
It's the same thing, though. It's like, do you think you actually have privacy?
It's not privacy. Look, I don't. Well, should the federal government be impacting elections? That's really the question here. And that is absolutely what happened through social media. He made this joke at one point. Tucker said, hey, what do you think of Mark Zuckerberg? Guys kind of.
Hold on.
Uh-huh.
So then because that was during Trump. So that must have been a shadow group within the government. Because that was Trump's FBI.
That's not Trump's FBI. Trump didn't hire the FBI.
I know, but he appointed the guys who lead the FBI.
Yeah, but I don't. This is not a. Well, that would be amazing because then they would actually. There would have been all pro-Trump stuff.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So how did it happen?
I think it's endemic in these organizations now. I think it's.
You think the FBI is just pro-Democrat?
There are elements in the intelligence community there that are actively involved in the decisions Americans are making with regards to elections. That is 100% fact. 100% fact. You start looking through those Twitter files, that's exactly what's going on. So we can pretend like it's not happening, but it is absolutely happening. I mean, Elon said this I thought was really fascinating. Tucker said, hey, how many folks did you have to fire? He said 80% of the workforce. And he said, Twitter's just a mass texting service. And he said, now, if you're running an activist organization, maybe you need those other 80%. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. And he kind of left it at that. But go through those Twitter files, Rob. Start reading some of that stuff. Read some of the stuff Taibbi's putting out.
It's nothing has changed. Nixon used people from the CIA and Watergate, and we can talk about Kennedy's assassination and all that nonsense. There's always people within power always trying to get other people out of power.
But nobody's going to jail.
Oh, they never do.
I'll give you a great example. Here's a perfect example.
Want to send Halderman or Dean to jail? So what? That's not what we're talking about, right?
Here's a great example of this. So the intelligence leak that came out last week, right? Literally 2 weeks before, when those documents were already in existence, the Department of Defense, the Secretary for the Department of Defense, testified in front of Congress. We're winning that war over here. We're doing great. We need some more resources. But internally, they had these documents that said, no, this is really bad. They literally lied to Congress. So at this point, it's just like, it's a big game. Like, I don't even...
But it's not at this point is my point. My point is, yes, I agree with you. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle it's on. It's been happening forever.
No, that's not true.
Starting in 1920-something when they started infiltrating the communist and socialist movements in this country.
This is at a whole different level, which is fine.
If everybody's the technology's better, yes, I agree.
If everybody's okay with what's going on, because this next election is going to be a disaster.
I'm not okay with it. I just don't,
It's a great example of this was we had government officials jailing people.
Right.
Because they alleged that Russia was involved in the election. And now what we're finding is whatever they did was minuscule compared to what elements inside the federal government are doing. I mean,
I totally get it. You
absolutely crazy.
Yes. Read the story of the Black Panthers and how they were infiltrated and arrested and murdered, right? It's the same thing.
This is not the same thing. Oh. We have a guy that's going to serve 10 years for a meme on Twitter. Like, he got convicted of that meme that Hillary Clinton said, hey, if you're going to vote for Hillary Clinton, text this number. They convicted that guy for posting on Twitter. This is a whole different animal.
I think it's only different because we're at the age that we're at.
I completely disagree with that. Now we have intelligence officials, and Elon said this, that are going through and reading your DMs, which, by the way, which is absolutely crazy.
Of course, yeah. I'm sure they do.
With no warrants. There's no warrants. There's no due process. We can look at everything.
Go back. The FBI didn't have warrants when they were wiretapping Martin Luther King or Malcolm X or all during the 60s and all those guys, right? Same thing.
No,
no, they didn't have. They did. I don't think they did. We can look.
Now that it's okay, now it's
not okay. It's just been happening, right?
If you really read through those Twitter files, it is absolutely amazing.
Well, stay tuned as we talk about real estate. We'll be right back.
About real estate.
God, bring us back.
Welcome back. Jason Bible, Robert Orfino, Texas Real Estate Mastermind. I don't know why we should talk about real estate, because let's just be honest, most of the folks listening aren't going to do it anyway. I'm just coming to that conclusion. I'm just like,
Wait till we go up on the board and you see me mapping out L.A. and Vegas, right? It's
right.
We probably just need to get off this station and get to an L.A. station.
Here's the reality, right? Here's the reality. There will be 100 of you that join us this year between the portfolio builder stuff and
whatever.
The
yep.
Mastermind. There'll be 100 of you that actually start doing stuff.
There'll be 2,000 of you that come to our events, right?
There'll be 2,000 or 3,000 you guys that come to your events. Come to our events. Our estimate is somewhere between 60,000 and 250,000 people listen to this show. Mm-hmm. We are talking to a very, very, very small number of people.
Yeah,
that's the reality, and And it amazes
We
me
count
every
them
time.
in dozens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get these DMs on Facebook, which I know everybody's reading, the federal government. But
That's how we're losing deals.
That's how it is.
That's how we're losing deals.
They're reading my
Feds
email.
are snaking us.
Yeah, they're reading my email. At the end of I read all this stuff. I get all these questions. You know, I'm doing this market update now on Mondays, and I get some of this stuff from folks, and I'm like, why are you asking me these questions? I mean, I get it. Maybe it's just entertainment for you, but are you really going to actually do anything? And it's for me, I don't want to say I'm getting bitter. It's just sad. Like, it's just, you know, I run into these guys that are like, Jason, I remember when you did the first case study in 2010. And I'm like, and what have you done since then, man? It's 13 years. Well, there's COVID and real estate market's going to crash and this was going to happen and that was going to happen. And I'm like, how did that all work out for you? How did all that doom and gloom nonsense work out for you? Like, I don't, that's the part I don't get is it's like you fulfilled your own process. You crashed your own real estate portfolio before you even started.
Yep.
Like, you didn't even do anything, right? You say this every time, the last day of the 3-day event. We'll invite some folks to be in the mastermind. They'll say, well, you know, let me give it some thought. And you'll say, there is a 99.9% chance you ain't coming back. And the likelihood you do anything is even less than that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and the sad thing is everyone looks all shocked. And I'm like, guys, here's the crazy part.
And defend it. And I'm
And
just
defend
like,
it.
it's just
I'm like,
numbers, man.
I'm like, guys, we have the data.
yeah.
We have the data that says how successful you're going to be. I can tell you how successful you will be in this business in the first 12 weeks.
Yep.
It's really easy to track.
And we've run in close to 100 people into our mastermind, and we know that 23 of them have succeeded massively. Now, it may not be, it's not 100 doors. Like, you know, like look at Juan, right?
Yeah.
Juan's got 6, but to him,
Yeah.
that's massive success.
That's
This
a
is a
lot.
guy who didn't think he could get 1, right?
Right.
So you just, you know, it's all tailored to the individual. But, yeah, we know the traits. We know how it is. And now we're really sort of shifting our message. It's like, hey, this is what you need. These are the basic stuff you need. And then here's what you really need. You need focus and you need to take action.
Yeah, you just got to get to work.
Yep.
And it turns into this. It's just so weird to me just watching. And it does come down to that disc profile. Now that we've really studied it and taken it back to each one of the members who've actually been successful. And you sit back and you look at it and you go, yeah, it really is the people that just put their head down and go.
Yep.
Just go. Like, what are you're waiting for the perfect deal, the perfect this, the perfect that, and it's not gonna happen.
Who was I talking to? I was talking to someone. I said, yeah, I probably have like 3 more doors. I just would like 3 more doors. I probably would take in a triplex, and then I'm done. And they're like, wow, you've been saying you want to retire for 5 years. I'm like, I'm in the middle of that process.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I couldn't get it done in 3 years. I mean, this is the process. And at the end of 8 years, there's a ton of equity sitting on these properties.
Actually, what we could have done it way faster if we didn't build all this other stuff.
Yeah.
If we didn't build all the other the companies we got, you could do it much faster. But, well, sort of. That's the other thing. Sort of, right? It would have taken us. The challenge is, you guys go to these real estate clubs, you go to these real estate meetings, and there's a lender there, or there's a title company there, or there's a wholesaler, but there's nobody that has all of it. You can bring vendors in, but nobody has all of it under one roof.
Not like us.
Is a good way. Yeah, like us. Like, we own all the companies.
Yes.
So when we present a deal, we've already sent
And the
it down
commercial
our
building
line.
that we're in.
Yeah, including the building, literally the roof that we have everybody under. So that's, I think, the bigger challenge is it's like, you know, yeah, you can go to a real estate club and you can get all your, quote, contacts and build your power team, but these people are not associated in any way, right? They're not all trained on the same sort of stuff. So when we bring things in-house and we're selling deals, like, it's all of our companies we own. If there's a problem somewhere, we can fix it usually relatively quickly. So anyway, now that's not to say don't use other folks, because we do that all the time. So, yeah, I sit there and I look at it and I go over it every day and I'm like, why don't we have 5,000 people in the mastermind? And it really comes down to this. Either you believe that what we're talking about doesn't exist, it's not real, or you know deep down inside you're not going to have any excuses if you're not successful.
Yeah.
Meaning it is 100% up to you. And I think most people would rather say, no, that's not really how it works. You know, I've gone to this guru. They said this. They said that. This is that. No, I can do this. And it's like, yeah, because when you walk in here, there's no excuses. If you're not successful, it's not us. It's not. I mean, we literally hand deliver the stuff to you. It's up to you. I don't know how other way to explain it. It's like, I mean, and that's why the D's and the I's, I think, in our group, they just move. They just move. They just go, oh, I got to buy this one. Yeah. How much do I need? $40,000. All right, I'll be back. And they'll show up, $40,000, go to the next one. So
Sniff and Scurry.
Yeah. Yeah, Sniff it. So if you guys have not seen the Who Moved My Cheese cartoon from like 63, I don't know what year that thing was from.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend watching that because that's exactly what it is.
Nothing has changed.
Yeah, you've got to go. You've got to get to work. You've got to get to work. I don't need other way to explain it. I see it on my webinars. I see it at events.
Yeah.
I see it, and it's the same people. Literally, it's just different faces and names, but they're all saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm scared. I don't know. And what they're really scared is, I don't know if I can do this. And I'm like, well, you're going to have to find that courage somewhere.
Yeah. Sorry, get my car cleaned here.
Oh.
You say all the time, but Jason, you don't understand. It's like, no, I do understand. You don't understand. It's like, no, but you don't understand. Like, I've got to get this together. I have a conversation. I was like, no, I do understand. Mm-hmm. You don't understand that you're wasting time.
You're wasting time.
The longer you wait, the longer it takes. Mm-hmm. Right? You're wasting time. No, but I've got to get this. No, you don't.
Yeah.
You think you do because you're afraid.
That's right.
And it's okay to be afraid, right? But be terrified jumping off the cliff, not terrified not taking the adventure, right?
Yeah. I'll never forget, one day we were going a little long in one of our classes. You were interviewing people or doing something. Yeah. And I said, all right, guys, we're going to go around the room. What changes Monday? And everyone was like, what?
Right.
I'm like, all right, what are you doing Monday? And I'll never forget this guy sitting in the back of the room. Well, I'm going to start looking at properties. I said, do you even know what you're looking for?
Right.
Well, I'm going to kind of look in this area. And I'm like, okay, so now what?
Yeah, they hate us when we do that.
I know. And it's like, okay, so how are you going to make an offer?
We're going to challenge you. You're going to come into our building and like you're going to talk to me about how great your career is going to be. It's like, well, let's go.
Yeah.
Help me understand.
Yeah. This is not a place of, this is not a Tony Robbins event. We're all going to hug it out at the end.
2 claps.
Yeah, 2 claps and hug it out at the end. You're going to get to work because here's the reality. The 2 claps and the wine and cry sessions and the motivational sessions. Breaking boards. Yeah. Do not get you to your goal.
So, and here is the thing. And so this is why I keep saying nothing changed, right? Because I put that Who Moved My Cheese up today. And I just thought, we're going to come back. Hey, let me take a break here. We're going to come back. You've got to come to 3 days. It's tomorrow night. Man, if you're really, truly serious about getting started, you'll be here tomorrow night. If you're not, that's fine. Hopefully you're entertaining, and we appreciate you guys listening. For those of you that want to have a change in your life, you want to start building out a $1 million plus portfolio and seeing some cash flow, you'll figure out a way to get here tomorrow night. Go to mrtxrei.com, mrtxrei.com. It's our 3-day event. Hey, welcome back, everyone. It's Robert and Jason with world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Mastermind Hour. It's nothing has changed, right? And this is why Think and Grow Rich was written over 100 years ago, right? Almost 100 years ago.
I am looking for, Elon's got this great quote about motivation. It's like, look, if you need motivation, you don't need to run a business.
Yeah, if you need motivation, you're
like,
not.
That's not what we're going to do here. Like, you guys got to get to work.
And unfortunately, like you said, we're looking for a very, very small group, but that's okay. That's fine. Folks that come with us, again, we've about 80% recapture rate. Oh, so here's the thing. We're talking about snapping the boards and all that other stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, I came up in this business through the marketing and sales side of it, right? I was the blue suit at the back of the room, right? Yeah. I close people. I could still close you. And I'm studying, I'm thinking, and it got to a point where it's like, I only want to work for, gurus and coaching programs that I believe in. Mm-hmm. And boy, that list got real short real quick, right?
Yeah.
Like 2 people. But I've known a lot of people in the industry who've talked about it, and they're like, no, you don't understand, man. Like, snapping that board or breaking the arrow, walking out. That is so powerful. I'm like, okay, show me the data where the people that have snapped a board or broken an arrow on their throat or walked on hot coals have somehow become more successful than those that didn't. Show me the different data.
And it gets real quiet.
Yeah, it's like, well, we don't have that. Well, then you're not a coaching program,
Right.
right? If I'm gonna go start playing golf, right? I'm like, okay, found a little place. $35,000 a year. I'm like, okay, let's go do this. 35 first year and then whatever. Anyway, so my coach is going to come with a pad or a piece of paper or a computer document, and he's going to take pictures and he's going to measure my swing and he's going to measure the clubs and say, oh, here's one of your problems. You got the wrong set of clubs, right? You got the wrong set of tools, right? And then he's going to go through that, and then next week he's going to track progress, and next week, and he's going to sit down at one point and say, okay, well, here's your progress. Here are the things I need you to work on. Go out and go do some, and don't come back to me until you've really worked on this. You go back. It's like, listen, take piano lessons, whatever. The coach tracks your progress. Do not call it a coaching program if you're not tracking progress.
That's right, yeah.
It's nonsense. All I'm doing is selling this book of gibberish.
Yep.
And then when you don't succeed, I blame it on you.
Right.
Well, you've got to. I saw this. I saw the guy. I don't want to mention his name, and I've known him, but I got turned off by him a long time ago. And he was out there on that thread. It's amazing how people won't take responsibility for themselves.
Was it the one I tagged you in?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, no. It's like saying, hey, man, hey, Ford, I bought this car and it was lemon. Well, if you don't know how to fix a transmission, well, that's your own fault, right?
You need it, yeah.
Whew, don't blame us.
Yeah.
You should have been able to fix transmissions. It's like, wait a minute, you're selling a coaching program. You should coach these people.
That's right.
You should track their progress, which is one of the things why I fell in love with Right Path. It's like, I sat in those meetings. It's like, okay, how many of you guys made those 100 offers this week? Crickets. Meeting's over. Thanks. Nothing to talk about unless you've actually done the work.
We would literally have the meeting. All right, guys, who sent out their marketing? Okay, cool. How many phone calls you get? How many meetings you go to? And everyone's like, I'm like, then we're not having the rest of this meeting.
Right. This isn't just to sit here and learn. Like, we're action taking.
Yeah, this is not, we're not, it's, the analogy I always give to folks, like, who in here played high school sports? It's real simple. Did you lift? Did you run? Did you work on these skills? If so, let me see where you're at.
Yeah.
This is not playtime. If this is playtime, I'll give you a great example of this. So there might be some changes in where the girls are going for cheer and all that stuff because there's not enough competitions at this part of the year. So it's like, then why are we going to this camp if we're not getting ready for a competition? Like, let's pull them out and send them over to
Well, they know
one.
everyone there, Jason.
Well, no, I mean,
no, that's not what we're doing. We're out of here.
Yeah, that's not. And even the girls are like, yeah, I don't know why we're going to do this for another 2 months. We need to be in this other program because they got 2 more competition. Yeah, so it's like, look, if you're really interested in getting better and actually doing something, then it's like you got to get out. You got to go do something. You got to go where the competitors are.
Right. So I saw that picture of Ron LeGrand on the couch, and I'm like,
oh, did you?
Nothing has changed.
Nothing's changed.
It's going to be the same old stuff over and over and over.
So I said, they were talking about lease options. I'll just tell you, the feed is public, so you guys can see it. I don't know how I got in there. I don't know if somebody tagged me.
I don't know why he tagged me in there. I'm like, I'm not playing this game.
So
there's Ron. I like him. He's funny.
I like him, but they said, oh, yeah, he's never made more money than ever or something like that on lease options. And I was like, well, wait a second. I remember him telling me before the crash, he had 2 planes, a restaurant in Florida, another one in Alaska. They would take the plane to fly from, he's in Jacksonville, isn't he? To fly from Jacksonville to Alaska.
Yeah.
So there's only a couple of planes that can do that. And they start with a G.
Yes.
And they're start about 50 million, right? Mm-hmm. Uncle Grant's got one.
Yeah.
So
he had one.
Yeah, and a couple other guys.
He had 4, he said.
Oh, he had 4. Okay. Yep. Yeah, he had 4, right? Yep. So I was like, oh. So all I didn't ask anything else. Oh, so what plane's he flying now?
Right.
And I can't remember what it was, some prop place. I'm like, okay, so clearly we're not
making as much money as we did.
We're not back.
Or maybe he doesn't have as much credit as he did back then.
I don't know. I found it. I'm like, man, this is the pact you and I have. I will never kill myself, but if I'm at a Red Roof Inn in my 60s teaching real estate,
Wichita,
somebody
Kansas,
needs to take
January,
me out.
cold night in January.
Cold night in
Tuesday night.
In Wichita, I should say Wichita Falls, in like
Wichita, Kansas.
Wichita, Kansas.
Yeah,
Yeah, Wichita,
Red Roof
Kansas, Red Roof Inn.
Come on, we're gonna teach people how to be millionaires.
We're going to teach people how to. No, we're not. We're not doing that. Someone just end it. Clearly, I've failed spectacularly as a real estate professional.
Oh my gosh. So, but again, that lit me up this morning too. I was like, oh, it's the same old stuff. It's the same old stuff. So I did a webinar last night.
Yeah.
And I know how to do the ClickFunnels webinar. He's got a real nice model.
Oh, I bet.
He does. And, I've read the book and I've done the webinars before and they convert. And I'm sitting there thinking at the end of it, do I do the Russell funnel?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, how do I do it and not feel dirty?
Well, I think the difference is we can use all those marketing techniques because we know our stuff works.
I feel very confident in the product that we have in the marketplace. You bet.
I think it's fascinating. Oh, this just goes back to that. I just remember that one seminar that we were in, Tom and I were in, and this guy was allegedly closing 10 deals a week, and he was their sales manager.
No way.
And I'm like, well, wait a second. Our sales manager is working 80 hours a week. He doesn't have time to be in the seminar from Thursday through Sunday. Like, this is banana nonsense, right? We had only bought 50 or 60 houses at that point, and we had a pretty good idea what that organization looks like. I'm like, either these guys have a system we don't understand, or they're just lying on stage.
They're lying on stage.
Yeah, and so that's what it took us a while to figure that out before we were like, oh, this is all nonsense.
It's all smoke and mirrors. They lie on stage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just saw something like master private money raiser program. I'm like, nonsense.
Yeah. But we have a private money program.
Not nonsense.
No. The one we actually use.
Too real and too scary for folks. Go to that class because I think they've got disco balls and
that's great.
Beach balls and stuff. You can go have fun there, right?
That's how I've always raised money. When I go to the bar dinner, I bring some beach balls for the restaurant.
Yeah.
Over there at Steak 48
Light show.
At the bar, passing the beach balls around. Yeah, we get the music going.
Yeah, everything's great.
That's how Elon does it too, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure that's how he does it, yeah. So anyway, listen, if you're serious about breaking this little cycle here, and you understand when you're in some of these rooms, you're looking around, you're like, this can't be how it works, you're right. It's not how it works. Come to our room, come to our building, 3-day event, mrtxrei.com, mrtxrei.com. And it's a 3-day event for $97. I promise you're going to get your money's worth, and you'll understand how this all really works. Hey, welcome back, everyone. Robert and Jason with the world-renowned Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Conspiracy Hour.
I don't know. Maybe we're the ones that aren't doing it right. We're not going from city to city. I'll never forget. I sat in the back of that room. There were 300 people in that room, and he made $1 million gross.
Yeah.
In educational products.
Sure.
People were running to the front of the room.
Yes.
To pay $25,000 to $40,000. And I just remember sitting there. I'm like, these are not dumb people.
Nope.
These are people that are, some sort of.
So the marketing works, man. That stagecraft works.
These are folks that are very intelligent, obviously had some success in their life, ran to the front of the room to spend $1 million. And I just looked at Tom and I'm like, this is wild. Absolutely wild.
Yeah. And I remember all those coaches with me. He's like, no, don't say it like that. Don't say it like that. I was like, but that's real. No, you got to say it like this. I'm like, that's not real. No, but it sounds better. I was like, but that's not real.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember going through that whole process. Tom and I would go from one seminar to the next while we're buying all these houses, and we were like, hey, if somebody can teach us how to make $500 more on 100 of our houses, that's another 50 G's. So we kept going to these different seminars and realized, man, most of these are just nonsense. Like, made no sense at all. So it was, I just remember going back to those days. And it's funny because these guys are still out there kind of peddling their wares. And I'm like, man, what has changed? Let's see, we started that company in 2013. I'm like, what's changed in the last 10 years?
Nothing.
If you can buy houses with no money and no credit, and you can do all these lease options, then you should have in 10 years, 100 houses a year is not a lot. You could do that with a staff of 3 or 4. It doesn't take that much.
For sure.
So if it's
at least
really
50.
You ought to have
48, 4 a month.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
50
if
houses
that,
a year.
There's that much opportunity out there.
You'd have 500 houses in 10 years.
Yeah, but they don't.
So what do you have?
No. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. It's kind of crazy. This is why we don't get invited to speak at a lot of events anymore.
No, they don't like us. They come up there. I think we'll get on some stages in LA. They do like us there. They
like us there?
Yeah, only because most of those guys out there have a soul, and ladies out there, they have a soul,
yeah.
so they want to feel cleansed.
Oh, there you go.
Like, I bring these real guys in, right? And then like next week, here's the, I'm a preacher and a pastor, and I do lease option guy. I'm like, this guy, you got to be killing me.
Lease options for Jesus.
Yeah, it's like, you can do 3 a week and for less than 10 hours a week. I'm like, no, you can't. Nope.
Show me your books, man.
You cannot even close 3 a week for less than 10 hours. The transactional coordinator's a nut. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, I'm not buying it. Well, and probably the California folks are like, well, they're from Texas. So they got a little edge on them. So we get that.
Yeah, a little bit of that. But I was from California, and I was telling people they're idiots. That's not how it works.
Yeah, it's the behavior. It's funny. It was who was I listening to? It wasn't the Elon interview. Maybe it was Ryan Stone. But it's like, hey, this behavior doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Explain to me this behavior that you think you could become a millionaire 5 hours a week. How many people have you met that have actually done that? About 0. I know 0 successful people that do something for 5 hours a week. 0.
That can prove it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look,
There's a lady who's trying to win a big TV tomorrow night at the Jet event who says she makes $1 million.
I'm sure.
5 hours a week.
5 hours a week.
Yeah.
Just look at the fitness stuff. Like, Pat isn't going through this whole thing right now.
Yeah.
He is 2 to 3 hours a day in the gym, plus meal prep, plus everything else. To be in the easily top 1%.
Yeah.
0.5%, right?
4 to 6 hours a day.
At least. And it's like, and you think you can have a top 1% income, which starts at about $400,000 or $500,000 a year. Top 1% wealth starts at $12 million. 4 to 5 hours a week. That's not how life works. I don't know why actually, here's the deal. You guys know it.
You know it's true.
You absolutely know it's true, but you want to believe it so bad.
Right. So when we tell you, hey, work 5 years to make $1.5 million, you're like, well, why would I do that? Because that's all the time you really have.
Yeah.
You only have that 5 hours, so I'm going to show you how to make $1.5 to $2 million over 5 years, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's got to move faster, Rob. It's got to move faster. It's like, it doesn't. And you're not going to be able to.
And don't tell me apartments are the way, because those guys are finding out right now.
They're taking a bath.
Oh, we got to do bigger deals. Well, guess what? Bigger deals have lower margins, lower yields.
Bigger
and
risk.
They are getting destroyed right now.
Yep.
Insurance is up, taxes are up, interest rates are up. Those guys are taking a bath. I was doing our numbers the other day. I don't think we've got a deal like that we are more than 50% debt on.
Yeah.
In our commercial stuff. So when people are freaking out, they're like, Jason, well, I mean, how are you guys doing? I'm like, the market could drop by 40% and we're still good. Yep. Now, it's going to wash out some of our equity.
Yeah, we still have some challenges in front of us every day, right? So we deal with it.
But we didn't go into a deal that had 0 equity, put 25-30% down, and then, put in some low flow toilets and some Coke machines and pray for a, 40% increase.
I was so pissed at you.
What?
And I don't even think I told that story. We went out there to look at that property, and I didn't want to go because I didn't believe her.
Which one was that?
This is where the low flow and the Coke machines came in. And I'm walking this place, and I'm like, you're not getting this roof done for $150 a square. That is not happening, right?
No.
We're not replacing how are you replacing those toilets for $50?
Yeah. My whole point in that was, I was hoping we were going to get to talk to the adult.
Yeah, and we didn't.
And we didn't get to. Yeah. I bet that deal's still sitting out there. Some sucker bought it. And
I'm sure someone in that other group bought it. Yep.
Yeah, there's a deal that we got outbid on in Spring Branch, and I'm like, and it's a couple guys asked me in the private group, and I said, here it is. And they were like, all right, we'll let you know. I know it closed. So I'm like, we'll let you know if we see anything. I'm like, okay. But there's no way that deal's going to work. There's no way. So it is. Anyway, so let's go back. There's this myth that, I can flip a couple apartments and make a few $1 million. And I'm like, yeah, you could have in 2010, 2012.
2007, 2004,
yeah.
3. Yeah, right?
When you were buying them at $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 a door, well, heck, I just looked at a deal down in our hunting grounds, $1.9 million for 14 units, and they're probably going to get it.
Yep.
And the deal's up here. I had a guy hit me up yesterday. Went through the numbers real quick. He wants 80 a door. They're another 20K a door in rehab. And I ran through the numbers and I said, bro, I got to get this thing at like 20% less than that. Right. It doesn't work. So, and he was like, okay, but there's one across the street right now under contract for 103K a door. I was like, well, go call those guys.
Right.
Because I'm not interested in it. Call that broker, tell them to call those guys, call those buyers. You guys split the fees and make a ton of money on it. But
right.
I'm not buying that. And maybe that's our problem. We're just too conservative. But I'm like, I'm not buying that thing. It's too risky.
No, we don't. We've done just fine. Right? So, anyway, we're doing a 3-day this weekend coming up. Tomorrow night starts tomorrow night. You guys have got to come out if you're serious about this. If you're not, again, we appreciate you listening. Hopefully we find us entertaining. That's great. But if you're serious about creating a portfolio, getting creating some wealth and some cash flow and some tax breaks, then you'll come out. And you're going to go to mrtxrei.com, mrtxrei.com. I don't know what else to tell people. I can tell you this. We're not doing this for another 90 days. So if you're thinking you're going to come next month or the month after that, that's not happening.
So we're going to move it to the quarterly
schedule?
Actually,
in July, we're going to L.A., and then we're going to be here in August and September.
Okay, so we're going to move it to the 90-day schedule.
Yeah, so the next time you'll be able to take these classes in August.
In August.
Yep.
Which will have less inventory, prices up. Oh, by the way, I did the math for everybody real quick. I pulled it down. I dropped it in the mastermind group. Houston real estate is down. Median price is down 2 or 3%. Mm-hmm. Houses below $350,000 are up 8%.
All right. Hey, guys, go to mrtxrei.com. mrtxrei.com. We'll see you this weekend.